Let's start talking about finance. Okay, this is one of those sections that's really applicable out there in the real world. You really can see how it is important to know this kind of information. Up until now, grade 10, grade 11, we've learned about simple interest, compound interest. We've learned about differing compounding periods. So for instance, if you were compounding something monthly or quarterly or semi-annually. So those all should be kind of familiar to us at this stage over here. If they're not, I really suggest then that you revise your grade 11 financial maths, because it's important that you understand all those concepts well. Okay. What we're going to have a look at from here in terms of your grade 12 syllabus is to now take it one step further, where we're doing annuities. Okay, so it's a new concept, something we haven't dealt with yet, and basically we want to start off with what is an annuity. Okay, now if I talk about an annuity, we are talking about a regular payment that is being made at regular intervals, okay, for an ongoing period, obviously subject to a particular interest rate over a particular time, okay? So this can either be, as I've written over here, this can either be an investment, okay? So we're either taking money and we're putting it away month after month after month, the same amount, okay? And it grows to a very much nicer, bigger amount. Or alternatively, we've borrowed money and we're making regular payments back so that we can actually pay back that loan, okay? So investments or loans, both of them can be annuities, okay? And what we're going to be having a look at today is your future value annuities, okay? So a future value annuity is the one where we are saving money. So whether you've got a retirement annuity, I'm sure you've all heard of that one, where every month a bit of money gets put away regularly, month after month, which ultimately grows to a much larger amount that you can then retire on, okay? There are other types of savings, much shorter ones that we could say, well, for instance, maybe you want to go on a holiday and you put regular amounts away every month, which also interest gets applied to it and it grows, and then you're able to go have that awesome holiday, okay? So future value annuities, what is it? It's when we're saving money, we're putting money away regularly towards a greater capital amount, okay? So a retirement annuity, this one over here, a retirement annuity is just a much longer term story where it's over 40 years of saving and saving every month, so that you can actually get a decent retirement. Or something shorter like an endowment policy that's probably around a 5 to 10 year timeline where you're putting money away regularly, but obviously not quite as long as something like a retirement annuity. Okay, so we know that there's a formula for compound interest, and we know for simple interest, and from our nominal to our effective interest rates, there's a formula for that too. So is there a formula for future value annuities? Yes, there is, okay? And this is our formula. It does come up on your formula sheet in your exam. So obviously you can refer to it on your formula sheet. Preferably just be familiar enough with it that you don't have to keep referring to that, okay? Right, here it is. So the future value of your investment equals your X. Now just write out your X is your regular investment amount, okay? So however much it is that you're saving every month, that's your value for X. Multiplied by 1 plus I, which is your interest rate. Just don't forget that your interest rate is always a percentage, so it's always over 100. To the power of N, okay, N is the number of those payments that you make over the period of time. And then the whole thing is placed over I again, which is back to your interest rates again. Okay, so let's look at a formula, an example, which I will then illustrate how we actually use that formula. Okay, so we've got 800 Rand, which is being invested every month, starting immediately. That's always important. Take note of something like that, starting immediately. So right now is the first time we put the 800 Rand in, and every month thereafter we are depositing another 800 Rand, and it's happening for 2 years at 13% per annum compounded monthly. All right, so we need to start off by establishing how many periods are we actually working this over. So we know we're doing it every single month, and it's for a time of 2 years. So therefore 2 years, every month, 24 months, okay? So a good way to start this is set yourself up a little timeline, okay? We call this a timeline. Starting at T0, which is your now point, and then we go. So that would be then the end of the first month, the end of the second month, so on, the end of the 22nd month, 22nd, end of the 23rd month, and then we get right to the end, which is the end of the 24th month of your timeline, okay? Right, it said we are depositing 800 Rand immediately. So we're starting at T0, okay? And at the beginning or the end of every month, 800 Rand is getting deposited into that account, okay? Right up until the last one, okay? So we need to work out how much this is going to work out to be. So the future value of this investment is going to be 800, remember that was your X, multiplied by 1 plus your interest rate, which as a percentage is 0.13, over 12, because remember we were doing this monthly. Now here you want to watch out. Our first 800 Rand happened at T0, and the last one happened at T24. How many 800s do we actually have? Okay, if you think about it carefully, we have 25 800 Rand investments, okay? So 25 is your N, and that's obviously because we started at T0 and we finished at T24, okay? Minus 1, and it's over your interest rates, which is 0.13 divided by 12, all right? So we are going to now type this into our calculator. So grab out your calculator and let's do this together. So we've got 800, which is multiplied by 1 plus our interest rate of 0.13, which is being divided by 12. All right, we're going to close that bracket. It's to the power of 25 minus 1, and we close the bracket, and it is over 0.13 over 12. All right, what do we get? 22,829 Rand and 40, let's round it up to 42 cents, okay? So there we go, let's write our answer over here. Whoops. Okay, we have got the future value, which gave us 22,000, we're talking about Rand, so just put that there, 22,829.42. Okay, so there we go. That's how we use the formula. So we're going to do a couple of examples now, just making sure we look at all the different ways that you could be asked to work this out. And then after that, we'll have a look at what present value is all about. Well done.